So I've been to like parts of the Grand Canyon,
Oh yeah.
which was pretty nice.
I'd love to go there. It's on bucket list.
I've been to the Hoover Dam.
You like that?
Yeah, it's really nice. It's beautiful. It's not. It's just a giant concrete wall, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
When there's like, it's just a glorified concrete wall that makes, but it's really important. It makes like it generates so much power. Like helps power New Vegas.
Right.
And the tour guide actually told us that some of the power they divert to New Orleans. New Orleans.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That far. Did you make the obvious Hoover Dam joke when you went there?
The dam jokes.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
they have good dam jokes?
Yeah, they had pretty great. They had pretty damn great jokes.
Did you walk in and be like, damn?
Yeah, there are a couple of people in our tour group that said that.
I was to say, it's hard not to.
Yeah, of course. Oh, and then there was like that bridge that they built recently. That like it's like in front of the Hoover Dam.
Cool.
Yeah. I've never been to New York. Yet I've been to Las Vegas. I've been to Salt Lake. I've been to Iowa, of course, Iowa. I'm family in Iowa.
Yeah, if you wanna go
I've
around
never. What?
Is that if you want to go around bragging about that, though?
Yeah. I've never been to New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere you want to go eventually?
Yeah, maybe. New York. I don't like. My mom told me that New York is just a glorified Chicago.
I disagree with that. New York is a whole another city, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I
How
know.
big it is.
Yeah, it's like
It's massive.
it's like Chicago's like half the size of New
Yeah,
York.
but like you see, like the Hancock. It's like to me, it's like New York is like there's nothing but like just tall buildings.
You're right.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
You're young. You'll get to all these places. Are you like you're 16 or something?
I'm 16.
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
When I was your age, you hadn't been to half the places you've been. So
Yo.
you'll get there. Especially if you're gonna be a pilot, man, you'll be all over
Yeah.
the world, man.
I want to go to Japan. I want to experience their culture.
My brother,
Yeah.
he's a software engineer, and he took a trip to Japan, and he loved it. He thought it was awesome. He did the whole thing too. Like went to Tokyo, did like everything you would like the whole bucket list of everything.
Yeah. In Japan, like when the bus workers went on strike, they just didn't, they had to keep. They still drove, but they denied payments from customers.
Oh wow, that's cool.
To keep the city of Tokyo in gear, running.
Yeah, but didn't let the company make any money. That's a good way of striking.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fun, man. We'll make it there. It's supposed to be a beautiful country. I feel like a lot of people go. Maybe it's just the flight is too long, you know.
It's not too long. I'm used to it. I'm used to being like in a car for like a week, because that's how my trip to Utah was. I'm used to it. So So I can handle like 12 hours in a plane. It's like
pilot. That's what you're gonna have to do, right?
I can handle it.
Would you want to be like a commercial pilot?
I don't know.
That's like where the money's at, right?
Yeah.
Make like 6 figures.
Yeah, 6 figures. A lot of pilots
Right
make.
now, if you want to do like a military pilot.
Yeah. Like you kind of like volunteer for that, you know.
Well, you have to also. It's like being a pilot in the Navy or the Air Force is like you got to be a. They're not going to trust anyone with a jet like that, you know.
Yeah. Of course they train you. You know. The Navy has more planes than the Air Force.
No way. Really?
Yeah.
Wonder why that is.
Well, I mean, there's more. There's like a lot of carriers out at sea. Like they do a lot of sea stuff. You know.
Right.
And
I guess the Air Force kind of just from like land to straight up. You know what I mean?
You know, have you ever seen that movie Battleship?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an okay movie.
It's a good bad movie.
Yeah.
I like a good bad movie where it's not like the acting is good or the storyline's good, but it's got awesome action.
Yeah.
It's pretty much any movie with The Rock,
Yeah, you're right.
which I love any movie with The Rock.
You know the Rock one is he said he was going to be president, right? Or he's going to run
Is that
for
what he is?
what?
The Rock's in?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Dwayne Johnson.
I'd vote for him.
Yeah.
Okay. He actually seems like a pretty well put together guy.
Yeah, I'd take. Trump's not the worst president. He's actually not the worst at all.
You know, like
No, I don't think so. I mean, he's done a couple of things that make him look bad. But to be honest, some people think he's really stupid, but he's not. He's smart because he turned that 1 million into a couple billion. Actually, no, you're right. Actually, no. You know, he's gone bankrupt a couple of times. To be honest, yeah.
yeah, but people always use that argument, which is true. Like he has gone bankrupt, but
Yeah.
a lot of like really, really rich and significant people have gone bankrupt and turned it back. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
It's not so much about like that he went bankrupt and ran out of money. His debts were so much higher because of like he put himself at like a huge risk for things. You know?
Yeah. Donald Trump isn't the worst. We know we're still the United States of America.
I think it's like you can't listen to one side. You can't listen to the people that are like Trump is the worst and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You also can't listen to people that think Trump's the best thing ever.
No,
you know.
but he's not the best. He's not the worst either. In my opinion, I think JFK was one of the best presidents.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of people criticize JFK for Vietnam and for the way he handled the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah, but you know he managed to save. He managed his way through the.
It's like tremendous time, difficult time.
Yeah.
I mean, FDR. I like FDR. Is good. I like Andrew Jackson.
Yeah. My uncle always thought that Roosevelt wasn't the best president.
Really?
Yeah. He said that FDR knew Japanese was gonna attack Pearl Harbor. Yeah.
And didn't stop it. Well, come on, David. I got this kidding class. Come on, David. Come on, David. Put it back.
You know, I see something that I don't know who they are.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry, what did you say?
No, so I see something that the white team has that Ridgewood Rebels don't.
I think what?
I think they're better at communicating with one another. You know?
That's a good observation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It does seem like they're a little bit more fluid with like where they're going and everything. They seem a lot faster too, like speed wise.
Yeah. I mean,
Richard's a young team too. Like
Yeah.
a lot of their kids, I guess, are underclassmen. From talking to their coach.
yeah. I mean, the players are good. It's just the way that they socialize, like as a team, is kind of
Yeah.
it's iffy.
Communication is really big.
Yeah. Yeah. Without it, how could we live as a society? You know.
I was watching a YouTube clip and it was like, what will the world look like in 1 billion years? And they went through like, oh, in 1,000 years this, and 10,000 years this, and like 1,000 years, like they're like, there's just gonna be one universal language and race because everyone's just gonna be part of everything, you know?
Yeah, but that's just a theory. I'm a little bit skeptical, but
Think so?
maybe there are a couple of things that he might have said that could be true. But you you know, the future's fluid. It's never set in stone.
Sure. Just a prediction.
Yeah. When Donald Trump was being elected, everybody thought we were going to go into a nuclear holocaust.
Yeah. Everyone thought we're gonna move to Canada and blah blah blah.
Yeah. You know,
You're right.
not much has changed since.
I just
Not,
think it means like the president doesn't have as much influence as you would think, which is good. That's like what democracy's all about.
yeah, that's what
you
it's
know?
supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, you're supposed to represent your party, and you don't control it. That's
Sure.
you don't fully control it.
Bipartisanship.
Yeah.
Looks like Miss Timothy's taught you well, huh?
Mhm.
No.
I don't think she said in class that the Great Lakes is the biggest source of clean water in the world, and I was kind of skeptical about it. I actually like laughed. I laughed out loud in class,
But it's true.
but it's true. Even though they pollute it a lot, it's still pretty clean.
Well, you know what's interesting is if you go to like Switzerland, okay?
Switzerland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to like one of these countries in Europe, they have these giant sources of water,
Mhm.
and they won't like water isn't like free. Like you can't just like go. There's no drinking fountains where they just have like water that you can drink.
Really?
Like, that's not a thing in Europe. Like if you want to get water, you buy like bottles of water,
Wow.
and it's like nothing in Europe in terms of water drinking is free. In the United States, it's like you get free water left and right. You know?
Have you ever been to Europe?
Yeah.
Oh. You know you have to pay money to use a toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
If you want to use a public bathroom,
yeah.
it's ridiculous.
You know, but I mean it could be a worse. You know.
I think so.
Yeah. Like look at least.
You're not going on the floor in a hole.
Yeah. Europeans are very well cultured. You know, like the reason we're not as cultured is because we're like a mix of people. We're not specifically one race. You know,
Really
as
think so?
Americans, because there's different kinds of
We don't
cultures.
have like a giant like hundreds of years of history like
Yeah,
we do in
you
Europe.
know, the United States doesn't even have an official language.
English.
Yeah, it's not, but they don't say it's not official though. Yeah, you know, in Canada, everything's like a little bit. Some stuff is more expensive in Canada. You know,
Yeah, like, book prices are ridiculous.
yeah,
I just think it's weird that like of all the things that like they put the price of books, they put the price on for books and they put it in U.S. and Canada, but they don't do that in like anything else. Like you don't go to
Yeah.
like a clothing store
It's
and see like a U.S. price and a Canada price.
yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Some souvenirs have it too. You know, a lot of stuff is made in, like, you know, that Canadian workers get a huge, like a lot of Canadian workers get 6 figures easy because of how expensive it is in
Canada.